Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to Nova Scribes. This is our first event of the year, and we have a real pleasure for you today. We have Dr. Ethan Eagle here, who's going to go through and help us how we run a playful experiment in how we think. Dr. Eagle both describes himself as a recovering engineer and an awkward person. He's someone who's taken a somewhat embarrassing long time to learn that humans, not hardware, are the real engines of innovation. And with that, I think we're in for a real treat with Dr. Eagle today. Ethan, would you mind just taking us home?
Awesome, Casey. My goal in any bio is to get the presenter to laugh during, right, to like disrupt their thinking pattern. So the goal here is play. It's playfulness. If something doesn't work for you today, try and like let go of that gremlin. We're going to be using Miro. So if you're a novice at Miro, or if you've not used that tool before, no worries. We will, you have friendly folks that will bring you along. We are going to be using the breakout participants in breakout rooms here pretty soon. This will be very interactive. So hopefully you're not on a set it and forget it, or you're not calling from the car, because there is a little bit of interaction I'm going to be asking you for. If you are calling from the car, it's okay. You don't have to leave. Just like give your mea culpa and ask for a little bit of support, a friend in your breakout room to add some content to a board. By way of background, Casey did introduce me as a recovering engineer, recovering awkward person. That's a joke. I happen to have a PhD in aerospace engineering. So if you have very technical questions, that's when you can call me Dr. Eagle. But in this room, please, if we're talking about teaming and creativity, I am a practitioner more than a researcher. And so Ethan is totally fine. I love kind of bringing down the power distance. If you do have questions about laser-based diagnostics, though, you can reach me on my, bat phone, so to speak. Today's goal is to bring us through a couple of different experiences. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'll give you an overview of where we're all going to go together. So hopefully you saw this as you were coming in. I met Casey, or re-met Casey, at the awesome ampersand gathering, where he introduced me to the concept of oars, which we got to row the boat together. So where we're going, some objectives. First, connection before content. We're going to spend a little bit of time playing around on Miro and getting to know each other in some breakout rooms. Then the meat and potatoes of today is really how to think about our thinking. And so in order to think about our thinking, that sounds really abstract. That sounds like something a professor might say. We're going to try and get really concrete with a little bit of play. But there's four kinds of thinking that you might be familiar with. I know Barb is familiar with this language. Simple, complicated, complex, and chaos. What kind of decision space am I in, and how do I think about my thinking in those various spaces? I'm not going to give you the buzzword. If you happen to know those four, you know the buzzword that goes with it. But we're going to experience them first, and then we're going to learn some terms and terminology. We'll spend a little bit of time in some small group debrief. If you're familiar with the liberating structures and 1, 2, 4, all, this will be a 1, 2, all as we do our debrief. And then I'll close with some resources and things that I'm hopefully going to share with you all. That's where we're going to start. That's where we're going. So hopefully the goal why you wanted to come here today is to give you an experience, something concrete and fun that gives you information about your thinking styles, your thinking preferences, and how you interact in group dynamics. But first, this. We have a warm-up for you. You're going to go to a breakout room. The first task in the first minute or two is to look at this image and just decide, which pirate are you? Which pirate are you? I'll give you about 30 more seconds to look around. This is not a high stakes decision, but it is a decision under uncertainty, under ambiguity, under some storytelling. You're going to introduce yourself in a breakout room to one or two other people. Hopefully it'll be pairs, but if there's groups of three, that's great. Once you have determined which pirate you are, I'm going to open some breakout rooms, 3 minutes each. You're supposed to share which pirate you identified with, This is in the Miro board. Casey, if you keep introducing or letting people into the room, if you would occasionally just redrop the Miro link. We're going to do this breakout room with three times. So which pirate you were, you can use that Miro board to go back and kind of look at that image some more, talk about it with your partner. And then just what you're interested in this session, what you're hoping to get out of your time here. So we'll spend we'll do this 3 different times. And the goal again here is some connection. Who else is in the room? You're here to hear from me, but you're also here to meet each other. And this is the liberating structure called impromptu networking. Any questions for me before I open some breakout rooms?
Real quick, 2 questions here, Ethan, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What pirate are you and what makes you so? Is that what you're thinking about? The 2 questions?
So which pirate you identify with?
Good. I missed that. Thank you.
And then why you're here, what you're interested in the session, so I can drop those into the chat. Although I don't know in the breakout rooms if the chat migrates with you. So, all right. I see 18 participants, so that sounds to me like 9 breakout rooms if I can do my mental math.
No, good.
All right. So 3 minutes in this first one, and you don't have to just answer those 2 questions. You can also get to know your partner, but 3 minutes before you're back in the main room. Ready, set, go.
I'll move someone down to room 9. There we go. See if that'll work.
Okay, great. Thank you, Casey.
Yep. So it looks like we got everybody 2 in a room. So Nathan's not joined that one. See if he joins. So Ethan, which pirate are you?
Which pirate am I?
Yep.
I see Aaron Ray's in a waiting room, has entered
Yeah.
the waiting room.
Oh, good. Thank you.
If you could move Sarah down into Christian's breakout room 6.
Yep.
I can do that actually.
Yep. That's it. And I'll move Christian down. Let's move Christian in Sarah's room. Let's do that real quick. Let's do that.
Okay, great.
And she's in 2, right? There we go.
Yes.
There we go. And we have, hey, it looks like Nathan just joined, right? Nathan, we're going to drop you in a breakout room if you don't mind. Nathan's here, so move to good. Hey, welcome, Nathan.
I still just see his
So
blurred
I got Dave
background.
Pearson joining. We'll throw Dave in a breakout room real quick. Hey, Dave, welcome. We're about to drop you in a breakout room. And
I just closed the breakout rooms, Casey. So
never mind. Yeah, good. Never mind.
Keep
Welcome,
Dave on hold and on approach.
Okay. Sorry about the delay here.
It happens. Hey, real quick, do you mind sharing your screen real quick, Ethan? And let's asking Dave which pirate he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll show Ethan. I'll put Ethan in. This is the playroom. We'll be using through the course of the event. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fun.
Welcome back, Don.
That was short. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to test your Miro and Zoom listening skills. Just to the right of this little thing, there are Zoom stickies from 1 to 20. And your goal is to put whoever you were in a breakout room with, put their name down and what they were hoping to get out under the pirate that they said they were. You have 2 minutes. You can use the chat if you didn't catch a name or you missed something or you want to have an alibi. Feel free to communicate here in the 2 minutes as well.
But we have to know which breakout room number we were in?
You do not. You just have to know what pirate number that person wanted to be. As a reminder, here are those pirates. I love seeing facilitators and scribes on Miro because it just like, it's all, everybody knows what they're doing. It's beautiful. And
Hey,
chaos.
a dumb question, Ethan, in Miro.
Yeah.
Can you summon people to what you're looking at like you can in Mural? Is that one of the things you can do?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I have the show cursors off, but like, right, it goes crazy when the cursors are all on and everybody's drawing on stuff. But then there's also a bring everyone to me.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I thought
button.
that might be good. Yeah, yeah. Make sure.
I do need to delete. Oh, there we go. The annotations on my screen. Clear. All right. Sorry, I've been drawing on the Zoom screen. All right.
Work. Yeah.
Great. So it seems like folks are mostly populated, and mostly you're listening. So that's good. I love a group that listens well. You're going to go back to a breakout room. This will be another partner. If for some reason you're in an empty room or something technically happens that doesn't work, just jump back into the breakout or leave your breakout room, come back to us. We're going to do this twice more. You'll meet 2 new people. All right, breakouts.
And the instructions for the breakout?
Same questions, same what pirate were you? Keep telling. You can change the story, right? You could pick a different pirate. Maybe you're feeling like you got multiple personalities. That's totally fine. Let's see. Where's my participants? You keep adding people, Casey. 8 breakout rooms. So some will be groups of 3. Some will be groups of 3. Hopefully you don't. Did that recreate? Yeah. All right. 2 minutes.
That's less time.
3 minutes.
Thank you. If there are 3 people in the room.
That's right. That's right, Don. You're right. 4 minutes. No.
Breakout rooms are open, right? You're open?
They should be open, yeah. If you need a push, let me know.
Let me see view. I'm going to gallery view. See if we get to. It looks like everybody's joining. Make sure no one's in a room by themselves. There's nobody in there. Yep, good. Looks like it's working. I love seeing the impromptu networking done with a different tool. I love that. Here's the tool. Thank you. Some things only become obvious after you see someone else do it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite tools. Impromptu networks, so great to get people engaged right off the bat. Yeah. 2 questions. Oh, beautiful. And also, I appreciate you saying, now tell the other person's story. That's. Nice in a room, good. Now you said you got a new house. You guys bought a new house. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, we moved to Minneapolis in August, and we've been staying with friends and family. But just house hunting, and we closed a week before Christmas. So stayed with family over the holiday until Jan 1 and moved in. Brought stuff in, but hadn't been in place in the house until just recently.
About to meet someone who I'm not sure if they're signed up. Let's see if I can bring them in real quick. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hello, owner. Normally for these events, we ask people to sign in with the name they signed in the event with. May I ask where you're calling from?
Oh, Brian knows me. Yeah, I just came out of a video.
Welcome.
Yeah, and I apologize for being late. I was
It happens. It happens. People in a breakout room, and would you mind Ethan showing owner the prompt, and then we'll throw in a breakout room in a minute.
Yeah, so I think we'll close these breakout rooms, Casey, but just we're looking at this little learning Linjario, which pirate are you? And there'll be one more breakout room to meet one person and discuss this.
Yep, closing the rooms.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so how do we know? Oh, okay, so do you have the personality type associated with the number?
You have to guess based on what they're in process of doing. Does that vibe with you or not?
Okay. All right.
Oh, and let me put the link. This is where we're playing at today, in case we're playing inside this space here, this Miro space, and you'll see what we're using inside there.
Okay, let me get to the board. Sorry.
All right. 1 minute on that same Miro board. You get to author your own story this time. Which pirate did you choose for yourself? And is there anything you want to add? It doesn't have to be on the same sticky. You can pick a new sticky, but try and capture for yourself which pirate are you and why are you here?
Quick question. I missed the numbers. Like, is there a relationship there, or we just pick a random number?
So the pirates are numbered 1 to 20. Whichever pirate you chose, try and find that number and give me your name and any info.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you
That's
for the
what I
clarifying
thought. Just
question.
want to double check. So.
All right. Are we at connection before content?
That's right.
Okay, so I have that, but I don't have the boat. Let me see.
You should be able to navigate on Miro by panning around.
I got it. I'm sorry. I'm just zooming in here to the mural.
All good.
It's a long day. It's the end of a Thursday. No, the end of a Thursday, right?
Yep. Okay.
All right. Take your time, breathe, arrive in the space. We're going to do this one more time with one more breakout. Hopefully you meet one more new person. I apologize if Zoom randomizes you into the same breakout rooms. But one more time, 3 minutes, get to meet one more or maybe two more if you're lucky people.
Opening the rooms.
Same prompt, same questions. Which pirate are you? What are you interested in learning from today's session? Hey, did you? Yeah, you got it. Okay. There you go.
I think I got everything. I think I did something right today. And the session we ran with you a while back, when the girl says, what do they say? I am I'm number 15. And why 15? Because I see number 12 running for the boat.
Yeah. Trying to, get everybody on the boat.
I thought that was, oh, that's awesome. As a group, I used this as a group recently, I think, and some number 17. Why? Because we got to sink this ship.
Yeah, that's creative destruction, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like lots of different reasons to be lots of different pirates depending on the story that you tell yourself.
Mhm.
And that's, well, I like this one because it evinces that in the absence of data, we tell stories, and lots of different stories can map this one instant in time. But it is right the path dependence on how did we get here and what are who are these pirates and what are their intentions, and we layer in so many assumptions based on our experience about what might be happening. So
Ah, I ran something recently, and I think there's truth in this. You look at every organization; their value is trapped in the stories that people have about the organization.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a nice way to for people to say, "Where are you?" Yeah, very, very simple, elegant, visual. It's great. I like the little characters you're bringing in here, like the oh no person, or
That's
the
that's crowdsourced.
those other people are doing that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Invite play and creativity, right? If you tell people to have fun, it turns out that they will. If you would close the breakouts.
Yeah, done. Close all rooms. Now, mural or bureau? Do you have a preference one way or another?
I mean, right? It's like that the whole thing
Yeah.
is decision calculus here.
Yeah.
They are equivalent, and I just happen to use Miro first, so Miro's
Mhm.
what I've myelinated that pathway. So it's the easiest decision is the one you don't have to make.
Oh, so true. So true.
I always get cut off when I'm talking.
Classic.
So here's my trick, right? If that feels frustrating, I know it does for me, right? When this is the facilitator magic of I get to control you through the breakout rooms in a much different way than when we're all in person. But through the magic of the internet, right? What I like about a breakout room closing is it is like the jump to light speed in Star Wars. And so when you arrive, just like Admiral Akbar, I get to say, it's a trap, right? And now I get to command your attention again. So hopefully that, right, it's like my playful analogy into the disruptive feature of the Zoom is, yes, I've called you here and it is a trap. Why did we connect about pirates and what's going on here? Here's the rub. I happen to know that there is not enough information for you to make a logical, rational decision about which pirate you are. You have to do some other kind of decision. Now, it could be chaotic. You could just like throw a dart and say, I'm the 13. I don't know. I'm painting a pirate flag today. Sure. Or you can make a gut choice. And when you make that gut choice, you start to tell a story. So hopefully what you experienced, it wasn't, hi, my name's Ethan and I'm pirate number 2. It's, I'm feeling like pirate number 2 today because, right? And you roll into a story about why you are pirate number 2. So this is the element that I want to capture for us as we warm up together. Both, hopefully you enjoyed connecting to somebody about something a little bit silly. Whoever, man, there like moments ago, there were funny little things on this, and people, I don't know if your professional identity took over, somebody's now deleted the fun little emojis that you were all adding in. So when we started this session and said, hey, we want to play together, be playful, try and lean into that, right? If you want to add an emoji sticker, if you want to Zoom bomb or Miro bomb, a big image, hey, as if you're having fun, that's a good indicator that we might be learning something. We might be open to learning something. So I will appreciate you, right, making me laugh, doing those kinds of things, right? A little bit of disruption is good. My wife is on the line. I don't often get to be in the same Zoom rooms as Sarah Eagle, but she bought me and my daughter a T-shirt that says "Non-compliance is a life skill." And so I want to encourage you all to lean into that, and you can private message her what that means and why would I tell a 3-year-old that non-compliance is a life skill, but that's a different discussion. So thank you for playing along, right? This is also, the hidden curriculum is I need you to learn how to make sticky notes, and you can do so in a safe place where one other person can say like, oh, you just do this if you've never used Miro before. Because now I need you to make the most critical decision you will make today. And if you read the intro to this, this is where you get to decide, would you rather fight an ostrich or a giraffe? And to make it crystal clear, it is in black and white. White sticky note people, click and drag, add your name, right? Your ostrich fighters. Black sticky note people, click and drag, add your name. Your giraffe fighters. You only have a minute to decide. What we are going to do at the end of this, I'm going to tally how many ostrich fighters, how many giraffe fighters. We'll come back to that at the end. Does anybody here already follow Extra Fabulous Comics? If not, right? What's this? The man says as he picks up a pennant that he found on the floor, and some other guy holding a different pennant walks up. And how do we feel about that? Apologies if you don't like strong language. Right? Here is what we're going to experience. How do we come into something, right? You didn't know today you were going to make this consequential decision, but I'm going to ask you to make it, and then I'm going to use this tool to help us think about our thinking and how we form tribes and how we look for openness and closed decision making. So hopefully that was super clear. You have 1 minute. Add, again, white sticky notes. You could be your initials, initialisms, whatever. Let me know if you need more time or you need help. You've got 1 minute to make your choice. Undo, Control Z is your friend if you accidentally delete the whole Miro board. That's some of the things are locked, not everything.
What's the spectrum?
If you're sorry, this should say just place a sticky note based on your gut feeling. This was originally when I learned about this introduction, it was, are you a coffee person or a tea person or somewhere in between? And I found that the somewhere in betweeners wasn't quite as good as trying to force the decision. Okay. Anybody? What? And then there's just pirates looking around. Great. So I hope that you've made this consequential decision. Now, you have 3 minutes. Let me see. We have 20 people. So teams of no more than 6 and no fewer than 3. You will have, so this is your Zoom test of the day. There will be 4 breakout rooms that open, and you get to add yourself to one of the breakout rooms until 6 people are in that breakout room, and then do not join that breakout room. Inside that breakout room, you have the next 3 minutes to decide, do you want, right? Find places on this board where you get to put, if you're in breakout room 1, you will grab a sticky note, add your name. And do you need, there's 2 things that I need. One person that is the dedicated talker when we come back and I need the group to debrief, they're going to share. If they're the leader or whatever, and somebody who's for sure going to write some stuff down. Any other roles, they could just be observer, you could be disruptor, you could be Miro, prankster, I don't care. Give yourself any kind of fun role you want. But you've got 3 minutes to join a group, find the little space, right? There's sort of these rows. So row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Again, no more than 6, no fewer than 3. Any questions?
Yeah, I still don't see where the where it is that you join a breakout room.
Yeah, no problem. I will open those breakout rooms and I will share how to do so in just 1 second.
Yep, 4 rooms are great. I can open if you want. Ethan?
Yeah, so as long as they get to choose their rooms
Yep.
instead of automatically assign Casey. Yep, let's
That's right.
do it.
Yep. They get to choose their room and no more than 6, right?
Yes. So you should have a tab somewhere on your screen that either has a breakout rooms button or a red dot that says more, and then a breakout rooms. And you should be able to click that, and then room 1, 2, 3, and 4 are open, and you can click a blue join button to add yourself to a room. If for some reason that's not working for you, I'm happy to push you to a room of your choice.
Where is the red button?
Karen, what group would you like to join? I can push you to any 1, 2,
3.
3, or 4.
But where's the red button?
No worries.
I'm with Karen. Where is the red button, Ethan? I'm in 3 too. You can put me there, please. But
Good as well, Don.
I like to follow directions, but if I can't follow the directions, it's frustrating, right? I mean,
There's
I was gonna say if I could go in a giraffe room, I don't even know if that's in the right thing anymore.
oof. There are not pre-assigned rooms,
No, okay.
unfortunately. Liz, what room would you like to go to?
You could just throw me in anywhere because I don't even know what that. I think I missed out something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you put me
Random
in
room
two,
assignment, please.
You got it.
Can't find it.
Good.
Anybody else? Sarah, where do you want to go?
2.
2.
Oh, join breakout rooms. I found it.
Oh, awesome, Aaron. Thank you.
Oh, and I'm just in time. It's almost 6.
Yes. Perfect. Woo-hoo. Christian just hasn't joined yet. There's, one of my favorite lessons, Ethan, is when you tell someone how to do something, that you steal from them the joy of learning to do it themselves.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's where's the red button? You ever watch Ren and Stimpy? You remember? You might be too young for that, Ethan.
I knew of Ren and Stimpy. I did not appreciate the humor. It was a little too grotesque for my tastes at the time.
I didn't watch much of the show, but some of the show really resonated with me. There's one episode with "Don't push the red button." The old button was they had a red button. The whole episode was "Don't push the red button." They're trying not to push it.
Where?
Oh, lose Ethan. Looks like I lost Ethan. Bury hand in his head in sand. That's funny. Welcome back, Ethan.
I was just seeing Group 1 get ahead of their skis. So you could close the breakout rooms, please.
Got it. Done. Closing. Oh, thank you for those innovation cards you gave me a while back. Not sure if I told you that, but I've been using those. Love them. That little deck.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun little. People like play.
Yes, they do. They do. Um,
Don, am I 4 for 4? Did I interrupt you mid-sentence?
Yes.
Actually, I saw
Kinda.
I saw the timer. I shut up.
All right. All right. So all you needed to do is decide who is kind of the talker, who's the scribe. Hopefully you found some areas. I saw a couple folks getting a little ahead of their skis, jumping into the next section. But here's the decision. You're going to have 10 minutes in this breakout room. Let me share my screen so I can show you where we're going to go. Casey mentioned this. When I give instructions to people, it takes away the joy of learning them to do it themselves. But, right, so hopefully, right, breakout, who's the leader, who's the scribe. I have a little example down here as, hey, Alex is the leader, Riley is the scribe. And we're going to go over here, and the next thing we're going to do is try and make some group decisions. We're fighting an ostrich rather than a giraffe. You'll see I've sort of preloaded some of these little fun emojis, but this group is going to win using men and women and rope and rocks, and we believe that giraffes are hard to kill or whatever, right? It says we're fighting, not killing, so you get to decide what we believe to be true, right? So part of this is here's what's the military version is called a COA, a course of action. Maybe you've already decided, so you're a little bit ahead of the game. In a minute, 2 or 3, right? Which one? Are you fighting an ostrich or a giraffe? Then you need a strategy. How? How are you going to win? And then the last thing you want is hopefully, right? There's 4 groups. It's never happened to me that every group has chosen the same. Maybe that will happen to me today. But if you needed to persuade somebody who is going to choose the other, what would you say to them, right? So how will win? And then this, because we believe, is sort of where I've preloaded that persuasive thinking. Any notes that you want to make to yourself there for your leader or talker. Questions about this. 10 minutes for which decision are you fighting as a group now, right? You've all independently made that decision. Is there consensus there? How will you win? And what would you say, what beliefs do you have that you might use to persuade somebody who thought differently than you?
Quick question before we go back.
Yeah.
You have these labeled frame 1, 4, 5. We have groups 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there a correlation here, or are we supposed to just pick one of these and figure out which one we belong to?
So breakout 1 was here on the left that should follow to the right. Breakout 2 follow to the right. So the numbering is arbitrary, and I've locked the frame, so I can't edit them right now. Okay. But hopefully that makes sense.
Breakout 3 uses frame 5. That's all I need to hear.
Breakout 3 uses frame 5. Breakout 4 uses frame 6. I love a process person. Right.
Just a real quick, there's no limitations on what we can use in the fight?
So some creativity under constraint. No nuclear weapons.
Okay.
No, right. I would say, you need some kind of scenario, but your assumption, right? We believe we're in the bush and it's a jungle and that, right? So you get to invent the scenario, where your how you win makes the most sense. Is that helpful? Helpfully ambiguous, hopefully? Not everybody will make the same assumptions, and that's kind of part of the point. But what are you envisioning? And try, again, it's not like maybe this is not Rick and Morty and it's sci-fi and the ostriches are smarter than everybody. And if you're not a fan of Rick and Morty, I feel badly for you. But I digress. Any other questions, right? There, if you try and break the laws of physics or the universe, you've gone too far. But other than that, right, just have some fun.
Okay. Opening all the rooms. I'm planning an event with a friend, and Ethan, we were going through ground rules, trying to come up with 2 basic ones. And one of the ones Rick and Morty, by the way. So good. So good.
Everything Dan Harmon has made is, I think. Anyway.
What's he done outside of Rick and Morty? What else has he done?
Man, you're like testing my nerd
Oh,
cred.
sorry. It's called your nerd card on you is what I did.
Yeah. Um, Community
Okay.
was also him. He produced the Strange Planet movie comics in
Oh,
2023. So
okay.
you know the Strange. I love Strange Planet as just the comic.
I'm looking that up right now.
But yeah,
Oh.
the reason I knew of Dan Harmon prior to Rick and Morty was Community, the sitcom. Um, so
Oh,
Community '09 to 2015, and Rick and Morty since 2013.
oh, well, there's a Strange Planet day-to-day calendar I just found.
Yeah.
Um, oh,
This is, I mean, how would Rick and Morty fight an ostrich or a giraffe? That's like a good team two is fully into the canon, which is good. I love it. And look at this. We have two ostrich teams and two giraffe
oh,
teams.
sorry.
It looks beautiful. Let me jump into breakout room 3 and just
Okay.
see what's going on over there because
There's only, yeah, good.
I don't see action on their page. Be right back.
Good. Welcome back.
All right. We have 3 teams, giraffe fighters. Thankfully, one ostrich fighting team. It's always a gamble.
So you're basically trying to ensure that you have one of each minimum, is what you're thinking, or?
I think that makes it more interesting.
Mhm.
If the whole room is quietly in consensus, I mean, that's a different problem to have, right? That like, hey, there were, how many of us chose ostrich and giraffe individually?
Mhm.
Why did we, why did all of the minority voices kind of get squelched out potentially? So,
You ever thought about squeezing a honey badger into the conversation?
uh, you're testing my nerd cred and my presence on the early internet. I can see that.
I saw a video recently where it's an older one, but where a honey badger had been attacked by a python. It fights the python off. 2 coyotes come up. It kills the python, fights the coyotes off, and drags it back to its lair. Yeah, honey badger.
What is procedurally interesting
Mhm.
is of the 15 people out of the total whatever, I think 20 participants would include me and you. So we
Mhm.
should vote, I guess. More people chose that they would rather fight an ostrich individually than a giraffe, but there are far more teams that are fighting giraffes than individuals. So
I'd rather fight an ostrich over a giraffe, just based on the sheer size of a
yeah.
giraffe. Yeah, the size
If you
scares
could
me.
close the
Got it. Got it.
breakouts. Thank
Closing
you.
all rooms.
I love the people who come back from breakout rooms early because either they were typing and hit enter and didn't realize that would right the context window moves and it says leave breakout instead, or else the
Conscious choice.
Got him
It
again.
was choice. Yep. Yep.
You got Don again, Ethan.
I'm 5 for 5. I'm going for the high score. So here, just before I hear from each team and kind of what's your context and your story, you'll have 2 minutes to sort of share what you're fighting, what scenario you'd envision, how you won. Keep it short. I will just share with you the room. More individuals chose that they would fight ostriches, 8 to 7 of those who recorded their votes. And we're going to see something I think kind of interesting, kind of different. So, team 1. Who would like to
So
share?
in our team, we basically decided we were going to fight the ostrich, and we basically had a 4-step plan. We demand that the ostrich makes a decision using AI, and then take the time to bury its head in the sand, and then slap it across the head, and then kick it in the butt. And the reasons for that were like 4 different reasons for self-motivating factors or self-sufficiency from so basically the giraffe is more powerful and taller than an ostrich, therefore it's harder to beat. And ostriches are not very decisive and gullible. And then in the end, I felt hungry, so we are like, okay, we definitely need to make some omelets out of the ostrich eggs if we scared enough. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so a couple of interesting, right? Like there is a stereotype that ostriches bury their heads in the sand. And like so there's a curious fact that like did our giraffe fighters think about ostriches are known to bury their heads in the sand and what more persuasion might we need around that sort of like little evidentiary or like that logic, that narrative that we're telling ourselves. Now I want to go and collect a little bit of data, and we're going to go do that in just a second. There's a book, again, my wife is here, that we read together. It's called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen. And I think that some smart person like Jill on this call needs to write a book that says how to talk so managers will listen. Here's the thing that I know to be true. If you want to learn how to talk so managers will listen, say it with numbers. Not in the Dilbert way, but like, let's go find some of that evidence, right? And so one thing that we'll see is we make decisions and then we tell stories that back up our decision. Very rarely do we go look for all of the evidence and then make a decision with the evidence in mind. So you probably heard in the era of AI, we want to make data-informed decisions. But a lot of people are making decision-driven data collection strategies, right? Like we'll make a decision and we'll only go collect the data that confirms. That's confirmation bias 101. Anyways, thank you, Team 1. Let's hear from Team 2. What's your scenario and how will you win?
Yeah. Team 2. So we talked about giraffes or ostriches. Actually, I was the only one in favor of fighting the ostrich, because then after you win, you get a very, very big roast chicken, which seems more tasty than a roast giraffe, I think. But most people went for the giraffe, in part because ostrich is like a sort of like a dinosaur, which is kind of scary, right? So we went for the giraffe. And the giraffe, first we talked about tripping it maybe. At the same time, the discussion also went towards maybe we should go for a more peaceful option, right? Because why are we fighting it at all, right? If it's just in the way, we could maybe just, move it out of the way some way, somehow. So what we wanted to do, because giraffes are always hungry for leaves, so we're going to find the leaves that create a sort of like a floaty gas in the giraffe's stomach. So we don't really fight it, but we first we trip it in a safe manner. And by tripping it, we get to feed it the floaty leaves, and then without any struggle or fight or violence, the giraffe will just float away. Well, not just out of the way, but it's content because it's nice. It had a nice leafy meal.
Perfect. Really good. I love a reframe. So a creative exercise, like we have to fight this thing. And first thing a lot of creative teams struggle with is identifying that, creatively framing the challenge. Like, why are we doing this? And what's the objective here? And is it food? Are we too close to their nest? Is it right? Like, what's the dispute here actually about? Why am I engaging in this fight? Are we hungry? Are we, and I'll share a little bit more about the emu war down here in a second. But without getting too far away from that, I love this, like, maybe giraffes are just more peaceful and ostriches are really evolved dinosaurs. So just from a dispositional state, right? Mammals be cooler than flightless birds. Certainly appreciate that. Let's keep going. Team 3.
All right. So Team 3, we chose the giraffe. We did have one individual on the team that was going to fight the ostrich, but we persuaded her to join us on the giraffe fight. One of our giraffe experts, Barb, had basically informed the group that we learned that giraffes are ticklish. So what we decided to do was use one of those bolas, those little strings with a ball at each end, throw it at the legs of the giraffe, trip him, bring him down to the leg, bring him down to the ground, and then tickle him until he's no longer mad at us. And we diffuse the situation. We don't have to kill a giraffe. And we feel like the giraffe is going to be at a point where it doesn't want to fight us anymore. So.
All right. I'm vibing with the peacemakers, these people who chose to fight a giraffe and then, just kidding, we're not fighting at all. We're just soothing the giraffe with tickles. Interesting, though, right? We'll talk a little bit about claims testing, but Don used a really interesting phrase there. Our giraffe expert. Oh wow! She gave us all these facts and figures, and did we check if Barb isn't just a bullshitter? Very confident in her. Hey, did I? Let me just double check that the AI isn't hallucinating.
Well, she is actually a self-proclaimed bullshitter. She told us that up front, but I have to believe that she knew what she was talking about. She was very convincing.
All right. Yes. What's the loudest opinion in the room or something like this? But very good, right? So we'll see in just a second whether that was smart or not. Thank you, Don. And last, team 4.
Yeah, that would be us. So yeah, well, we got cut off, so we didn't completely really get finished with the process. We chose, there were 2 of us who originally chose to be giraffe fighters and 2 who chose ostrich fighters. So we leaned towards the giraffe for this process. We did a brainstorming process at first where people just put out sticky notes of ideas. Then we started to group the ideas, and then we started challenging, well, what would that idea be for? And then it was only at the end somebody says, well, exactly. It was Aaron who said, well, what exactly are we doing? Like, what's really going on? And so that we were in the middle of that discussion around, is this just a stray giraffe that's running around and we just need to control it and maybe get it back to its environment or put it in a zoo? Or is this like a giraffe apocalypse thing where giraffes have taken over the world and are attacking us and are coming after us, which might lead us more towards the fighting realm rather than the capture realm? So that's as far as we got. But it was interesting that I think we all just went right into thinking of the fighting rather than doing that thinking around, well, why are we fighting it?
Yeah.
So anyway.
All right, Karen, that was an incredible tee up. Right? Far too often we focus on the things that are concrete. The what, the who, right? It's this group of people. And maybe even, right, the why. Like, at least some of the conversation was like, well, what are we even doing here? But there's really important, pertinent, clarifying issue of like, where are we? And when is this the apocalypse? And like, either we do this, it's an existential threat, or is it a giraffe that has escaped the zoo and is about to run us down, and maybe we could just step out of the way and we don't have to fight it at all. But so it is really, really interesting when you ask people to do creative tasks. If you don't provide a timeline and you don't provide adequate context, people can get really creative and have a lot of fun. But what did it matter? Did we make a good decision? Now, part of this is it's a playful experiment, right? Am I fighting an ostrich or a giraffe ever in real life? I hope not. What it is, the reason I like this activity and what it's trying to illuminate is, instead of just focusing on one thing, fighting a giraffe, fighting an ostrich, taking whatever issue we have. So the other link I have here is called Time Management for Startups. This is my favorite little 3-word mnemonic, and it's cancer, a house fire, and a knife fight. So time management. Cancer, I got a big problem here, but I maybe have a long time to figure out kind of treatment. House fire, I got to get out. And knife fight, I got to do it now or never. So understanding your time horizon for the important decision is also, right, moves the calculus about which of those decisions do you need to make. Now, fighting an ostrich or a giraffe is sort of on the same time horizon, but we often need some kind of context. Right? Would I rather do this or that? And this is if you want to go and nerd out on decision styles, this is a version of adaptive comparative judgment. And I see Karen and Arend and Don are all wearing my favorite, spectacles. You all are experts at adaptive comparative judgment, because when you go to the eye doctor, they don't ask you to pick your perfect prescription from an array of millions of options. What do they say?
Better or worse?
Number one or number two? Number one again, number two. All you are ever doing is picking one slightly better option over the other, right? And you can use that adaptive comparative judgment to avoid a lot of decision fatigue. So one thing I see in innovation circles and how this relates to innovation and creativity in teams is I don't want to scale from 1 to 100. How badly do I want to fight an ostrich or a giraffe? And then I compare those metrics, right? And try and make a decision based on the data. I need to provide two meaningfully different options and then see which people really prefer. Now, I mentioned something to you. More people individually wanted to fight ostriches. Again, who voted? There are 20 people in the room, and maybe that includes me and Casey. So we're pretty close. But teams are all out here fighting giraffes. So it is interesting, and maybe on purpose, that I provided some people who are what I like to call in a team scenario, a designated asshole. The designated asshole has very strong opinions. The reason, right, I'm going to keep the metaphors going. I brought up my daughter a lot. Has anybody here ever read the book Everybody Poops to a Child? Or to themselves, just for fun? Everybody Poops, right? And according to Family Guy, the much less popular Nobody Poops But You. Everybody poops. Everybody has to eliminate. The designated asshole's actual job is not to browbeat people. It's to get rid of the shit ideas on the team. Now, my guess is that your first good idea stands in the way of your best ideas. Your first good idea stands in the way of your best ideas. Because after your first good idea come a lot of crummy, crappy, not as good ideas. But they are the places that you need to go look if you want to get better ideas. If you give yourself only the time to look at good ideas, this is sort of the bell curve distribution, right? If we only look for ideas that are kind of close to what we're already doing now, 1 or 2% improvement. If we never entertain the crazy ideas, right? Crazy ideas are on the bad side of that distribution. We also tend to eliminate the crazy good ideas. The ideas that we're unwilling to try or test because they seem dangerous or they seem ill-advised, right? Fighting an ostrich is a dinosaur. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Now, for time, we've got 20-ish minutes left. Here's what I want to share with you, but we're not going to run the activity. There is something that you can use called the claims tester. And I'll give you, this is like a fun little homework. I use Claude AI to create a little artifact, and you can take a self-assessment that gives you a little personal information about how you like to make decisions. Now, this framework comes from, I think it's being taught by the Gates Foundation as part of Big History, the Big History Project. You can find like child-friendly comics about these 4 decision styles. Maybe that works in your work environment. Maybe it needs to be really professional. But it tends to suggest that there are 4 ways that you can make a decision. You can go with your gut, your beliefs, your intuition. Those are fast decisions. You can cede the decision to an authority and say, well, according to the best animal behaviorists, they would rather fight giraffes than ostriches, and we're gonna side with them. You could go gather evidence, and actually what this is designed to do is give you a chance to go actually Google some stuff. The evidence that I'll share with you is a Wikipedia article called The Emu War. 20,000 emu basically took over Australia. The Australian military tried to fight those emu. They lost. So maybe you don't want to fight ostriches because in large numbers, man, they're not, don't mess around. Reddit, another favorite of mine. This is the subreddit Nature is Fucking Lit. Again, apologies if you've got kids in the room. But this is a giraffe fighting off successfully a pride of lions. So I don't know about you, but I'm not a pride of lions. And the giraffe kills like 2 of the lions in this video by kicking them in the face. So again, what context are we in? What kind of fight do we want to have? If it's one ostrich, maybe we can take it. If it's 20,000, probably don't want to get in that fight, et cetera, et cetera. But there's lots of evidence out there if we're just willing to look, right? So making evidence-based decisions. Can I go gather that evidence again? How to talk so managers will listen. Is there some numbers to this? And then lastly, right, many of you are professionals. You're really good at thinking logically and reasoning, systematically. Part of telling good stories is that they hang together, right? You can go also on the internet and find all the plot holes in all of the best sci-fi movies because nerds out there are like, that's not how physics works. But the logic behind your story, right, if it hangs together, that's really where a lot of people tend to fall, right? So if you go play with this little decision calculus thing, I tested myself, and it turned out, according to this little, right, this artifact I made in like 10 minutes, so it's not that scientific, I never use intuition to make decisions, which kind of vibes with the recovering engineer, recovering awkward person. But if you're more artistic, maybe you do lean into your intuitive sensing and your intuitive beliefs about decision. The irony for me there is I believe it to be true. The logic and evidence and authority support intuitive thinking is what drives innovation, right? You have to have a hunch. You have to believe something could be true before you prove it to be true. And so these decision styles, right, you can't, this is the catch-22 of show me the evidence that your new thing will work before I give you the funding to build the new thing. And this is why we rely on things like the National Science Foundation, right? And authority, right? We give lots of PhD credentialed people the ability to guess and dream, and we fund those. All right. I want to jump. Sorry, Casey, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm good. I just cleared my throat. Sorry.
All right. The last thing, did you hear anything? So we had votes 8-7. The last decision style, right? So this becomes complex when we start to think about other people's minds and how might we persuade and what evidence, right? We start to view not just like one way to make a decision, but there's multiple. How did we reflect on what decisions did our team make? How might we have made the decision a little bit differently? But what I want to do in this last thing is just see chaos, right? Does anybody from any team want to defect, either secretly or publicly? Is your team making a bad decision and you want to jump ship and join a different team or else just abandon your group? So in this last one, these were placeholder names. You get to finally vote. Did any of those arguments sway your position? Are you still a part of the team? Go ahead and add a sticky note. Where are you at the end of this conversation? 1 minute to file. I'll bring everybody to me. It's no longer black and white, but you can just let me know where did you come down on which would you rather fight, an ostrich or a giraffe? Did you change your mind?
Ethan, how ironic that some of this might actually come useful for me given the immense task that I'm facing starting next week.
I hope so, Don. I'm glad you're here.
Oh my God. Yeah. I got my book Herding Cats, so I figured I'd be good there.
Yeah. All right. The last thing we're going to do together is break from kind of immersing in that and think a little bit collectively. If you're familiar with the liberating structure debrief 1, 2, 4 all, it's just one. We're going to do 1, 2 all. I will give you all 1 minute to answer this part 1. What part of that little activity is sticking with you? So if you want to grab a pink sticky, Or what does it make you think of? Maybe you connect it to another thing that you've been experiencing or that's related. So the pink stickies are what's sticking with you. And you can kind of maybe go out to the right. And if you have a teal sticky, what does it make you think of? You can come up with multiple answers. So this is a lot like the brainstorming phase. But what did you think? 1 minute to write, and then I'll add you to breakout rooms to discuss your answers with a partner. All right. 1 minute to think about this question in part 2. How does framing a choice between two different goals help or hinder your discussion or debate? Black sticky notes, it helps me when, and white sticky notes, it hinders because. You can add your thoughts individually there for 1 minute. If you have other thoughts or want to go back to a different question that resonates with you, also follow your energy.
Which is the black one again?
Oh,
Helps.
it helps when. I'll lock my sticky notes in place, eh?
It doesn't help when a co-host steals the sticky note. It doesn't help.
All right, and then a final minute in this sort of individual part 3. At least we had fun. Do you have a resource for decisions in teams that you've come across other than this that you would like to share? Maybe it's just visiting the optometrist. Oh, the Heath brothers, love them.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the 4 part of the 1, 2, 4 all. You'll be added to a breakout room with 3 or 4 other folks, and you can just share any of your reflections or responses. When we come back with the final 5 minutes, it'll be a chance to highlight any of those conversations with the whole group.
And Ethan, I got 5 rooms creating. Think that'll work?
Hang on. Not those. Let's close those.
Okay.
Let's do 3 assigned automatically. There we go. 5 minutes here to just share some of your thoughts. Is that true? There are 4 people per team. Yeah, 4 minutes.
And we'll cut Don off again when we bring him back, right?
As much as possible.
I'm going to talk to the very end. That's my goal now.
Ethan, you might appreciate this. Turn the Ship Around, David Marquet. You familiar with the work there?
I showed up to that event last month,
Yes.
and I dove down the rabbit hole.
I've had lunch with Doug and we've talked. Yeah. Now he has a book. I'll put this in a link here. You might enjoy. He's written 4 books, and another one's Turn Your Ship Around. Essentially, it's the facilitator's guide for taking it to an organization, basically. Turn Your Ship Around. And yeah, it's to me, it's a guide for culture change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that resonates here in the I loved his sentiment. There's no they on Santa Fe, right? And it's like we're the giraffe people, but those ostrich people, they, and whoa, hang on a second. How do we keep all of this on the same team? Like, it's not us versus them. It's where are we trying to go together?
Yes.
And so this both and thinking, right? This is the decision calculus of most decisions are either or, and we're locked into that either or framing.
Yep.
So, anyways, right?
I think Dan and Chip Heath talked about this. I think Paul C. Nutt, I put his book in there as well. Like 67% of all decisions, especially in organizations, are made that way. Either one decision, we're doing this or not, or we got 2 options, right? So, no. And I love the phrasing you used earlier. Not that I'm trying to pass judgment on you or anything. I really appreciated the way you said that to get to the crazy good ideas, you got to go through the crazy ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a blog post on your good ideas stand in the way of your best ideas. And I think that's that provocation is related to one that I make often tongue in cheek, which is, Casey, do you know what the goal of thinking is?
That's often to convince ourselves that we're right? That's a goal.
No, the goal of thinking is always to stop thinking. Because it takes so much energy. So the sooner I can stop thinking about that, the better I feel. And so, right, good ideas are traps because it means I can stop thinking. And I'm like, well, that was good. I'm done. And you have to have the person who is so dissatisfied with the status quo that good ideas don't cut it.
And that kind of, we talked about the pirate ship, that person who's shooting the pirate ship, right?
Yeah.
The pirate ship is the way things are. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. And like I said, some things only become obvious after you hear it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hindsight bias is real for sure.
Oh, so true. And the hardest thing to let go of is the one idea you have. That's the hardest thing. You got 30 ideas. It's easy to let go of one of them.
I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas, I believe is the Simpsons reference.
Oh, I tried nothing at all. Lisa, you learned a valuable lesson. You tried. You should never, ever try.
Yeah, that's the effort.
Hey, thanks for keeping it so interactive with the group. I think they've been fully engaged. Wonderful.
Oh, you're 6 for 6.
Yeah, perfect. Go out with a bang.
Actual real conversation too. So anyway.
Would love to hear any highlights. Lowlights are also, if you got, I can take a punch. Anybody from Group 1 want to share what came up in conversation?
What were we? Were we Group 1?
Amanda, Don, Karen.
Thank you. Karen had an interesting observation.
Nice.
Well, no, I'm making space. I'm a talker, so I will always talk, but I'm trying to be like, Karen actually brought up a really good point. So I wanted to give her a chance to talk.
I think what we were talking about, if I'm remembering where we were, was this idea of how some of these constraints can kind of manipulate us and sometimes, and if we're asked to make a decision, like a lot of times we thought we do, whether or not we really want to. And then, of course, Donald at the end was talking about sometimes people have that belief as well. And so sometimes that can be revealing as well around, okay, certain people, if they're asked to make a decision, think that that's their role and they do, versus saying, oh, we don't have enough information. So we kind of got cut off in the midst of that. Donald, you can say whether I captured it or not.
You did. You did. It almost speaks to, and I think, Karen, you brought up roles, right? We even talked about being multiple pirates. It's like, what role do you fill? And for me, I've been an executive for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm in a decision-making role. That's kind of been my life. So when you present me with a decision, my first thought is, let's make a decision. Because a no decision is, we're taught not making a decision is worse than making a decision and potentially being wrong. So yeah, I think we just go into that mode. So.
Right. It strikes me that understanding the framing choice, like who's providing that frame, and can I question it, or is that the word of the G-man, right? How much am I allowed to sort of wiggle around within those constraints or not? I've often called that sort of self-authoring or self-authorizing behavior. Is when can I make decisions? When do I need to go up or down the chain of command in order to get to the right decision authorities? I would share the resource that I've been really enjoying around that right now is Richard Clayton's work with Stefan, Run, Serve, Change, and their model for decision making. I'm experiencing this in my real life right now. XL Energy is supposed to come put a new EV charger on my house. And the electricity that's running into my house also needs work. And the guy is literally going to be the same guy who comes to do it. And he can't give himself permission to do both jobs in one work order. I have to file the paperwork through the system, even though he agrees with me that I'm right. And he is the person who will come back to do it. Right, I am at the whim of the bureaucracy, because the level of complexity, where the complexity emerges, he's talking to me about, yeah, I see that problem. And the person who handles it is 2 or 3 levels detached in the bureaucracy. And boy, we got to go through those levels or else it's not approved. It's not authorized. Right. So even when we can see a decision that needs to be made, sometimes, right, bureaucracy can creep in, and those decision rights don't sit with the same person who will ultimately be the executor of that decision. Something to think about as well. Team 2. Arend, Barb, Liz, and Karen.
Aaron, you want to talk?
For me, it can be very short because I think we started talking about the restrictions that you get when framing a question with either or, just 2 choices out of a universe of options, which can speed up towards a sort of like a wanted kind of decision, but it leaves out all the other options. Option 1, fight this. Option 2 is fight that. How about not fighting, right? How about all the other options that there are? And people can also abuse those kinds of framings, right? And you need to be very careful with that, because it might not always be what you want to do.
Yeah. My favorite work on this right now is both and thinking. So even when I just frame it as this or that, right? Either or thinking does make me think, oh, I can't choose both, or I can't choose neither. What if it could be both? Like, what if we're fighting animals? Let's, hey, we have the capacity for animal fighting. So, right, are we thinking about capability development? And just like giving ourselves a little bit of room to be playful. Again, I think the first challenge in most teams is framing the challenge in the right way. And so the first challenge is getting the challenge right. And that's a great thing to be able to, hopefully experience in the decision cycle is, hey, are we making an either or choice that doesn't have to be? And how could we come up with a hybrid or a new path? Thanks. The last team, AK, Sarah, my wife, or VJ? You're all that's standing between us and dinner, so, you know.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, love the session, Ethan, and I'm probably going to be leveraging it a lot in terms of an icebreaker warm-up. I conduct a lot of design thinking sessions, so this is going to be super helpful and helping me, look for how to solve this passive conflict that I'm experiencing with certain participants, and essentially understanding more about how they think or how they perceive an idea, right? How do they work, and how can they work with the a-holes that are there in each of the teams, right? I feel this is going to be super helpful for me. I'm not able to really translate it clearly in terms of how I'm going to leverage this, but it's going to be an activity that happens before my design thinking workshops, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to use this as a warm-up activity the day of, or not on the day of, but the day before the design thinking.
Great.
Yeah, VJ, so I will share with you, I have banned the word icebreaker from my vocabulary.
Okay.
Because I experience only people rolling their eyes when I say we're going to do an icebreaker. Here's the language I do recommend. I do not know a single professional athlete who doesn't warm up before playing their sport. So we need to warm up our decision-making muscles, and here's a warm-up I've devised that will get us, right? Give us the sets and reps and see who's sinking the three, who's got hot hands tonight, whatever, right? It gives you a little bit of that live fire assessment, and then it gives people something concrete that they can reflect on, which I think is a great way to use this activity in groups.
Thank you.
Yeah, so at the very bottom of this, all across the Miro board, there's a couple of resources here I'll share. And Casey, apologies for being a couple minutes over.
It's your time.
60 to 90 more seconds, if you bear with me. Let me share my screen really quickly. Close that. Or share. A couple of really this book broke my brain. Robert Sapolsky, his book Determined, The Science of Life Without Free Will. So the neuroscience says when making binary choices, a part of your brain activates before you are conscious of having made the choice. This is really wild sci-fi stuff that things that you are not conscious of are affecting, right? In this case, the study is about pushing one of two different buttons. But something called the motor plan, your body starts to move and provides you the decision before you're conscious of the decision. So what does that mean for you? Well, behavioral economics says if you've made a decision, the loss of that decision, right? How many people here gave up their original choice? Did anybody?
I did.
And then Arund went back and maybe Karen went back. Okay. So if you are willing to give up your first thought, right? This is what I suggested to you. Your good idea, your first idea stands in the way of your best idea. The way that I capture this when I train innovators is I ask the question, innovation starts with, VJ was just talking about design thinking. Design thinking starts with empathy. What does innovation start with? It's a trick question, right? Innovation starts with I. It's right there in the word. It's in the dictionary under I. What does that mean? It means innovation starts with me. I have to be willing to change if I want to be the change. I have to be willing to change if I want to be the change. So if you're trying to force change on other people because you're smarter than them, or you have the evidence, or you're the authority, guess what? You need to look in the mirror. Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast and Slow, right? It is harder for us to give something up than it is to gain that same amount, right? So we have to think through our own decision calculus about what we can give up if we're making decisions at a subconscious level. We talked a little bit about roles on teams. If you don't know the Belbin team roles, this is a fantastic way to think through Does my team cover down? Does my team, and it can be adaptable. So these are not personality styles. They're not anything like that. It's just, hey, in order for us to be, I liked Dan Ward and I went back and forth. Folks, I love 80s comics and TV media. So Voltron was a big part of my childhood. If you could form Voltron, why wouldn't you? Right? So put together teams that integrate and make sense. And the Belbin team roles can help you do that. I mentioned the time management for startups, the cancer, knife fire, and a cancer, house fire, and a knife fight. The claims testers are here, this little Claude decision-making game. And the last but not least, right, I promised a little bit of buzzword bingo. Choosing between two options is clear, right? Sense, categorize, respond. Best practice. Complicated, how do I fight? Well, I've made this decision, now what do I do? I can understand governing constraints, I can make good decisions. Complex, how do I sense other people's minds? Like, how do I have a theory of mind that works? And in complexity, where, right, it's no longer the hardware or the technical parts of this, but the people in the system that need change. And then chaotic, right? If I'm going to ask people to give things up or let go, right, that's going to be really a challenge for people if they're trying to let go of the past in particular. And so driving people to try something, right, chaotic, some of this font here is kind of fuzzy, so my apologies there, but it says act, sense, respond. My favorite maybe thing of all time, of learning of all time, it is easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than it is to think your way into a new way of acting. And so in that chaos of new behaviors, right, we just have to go try some stuff. And what I believe to be true, right, why I call this a playful experiment and how we think, is that you have to go try. You have to run the test. You have to give yourself the experience. Only after the experience can you potentially learn from it. But John Dewey is a great philosopher of education. He said, not all experiences are educative. Not all trainings are educative. It's up to you to take away those things that you think you can use and learn. And are you going to do something differently based on this on Monday, on whatever day, than you would have if you hadn't? And if so, I think it's useful for me. I would love to hear from you. If you want more, if you want to chat again, you can reach out to me or my wife, Sarah, at Build Change. If you're in the military, we have versions of this that is productized for the military through the Project Mercury brand and Innovatrium. And I have a not erstwhile Substack, but I talk, if you liked the thing about your best ideas are impeded by your good ideas, you can follow me there. And that's it for me, Casey. Over back to you.
Hey, Ethan, thank you. Now, before we go into the famous Nova Scribes happy hour, which lasts for 5 minutes or so after this, hey, would everybody mind in chat, just in 1 or 2 words, how'd this go for you? Just type in chat 1 or 2 words how this event went for you in the time with Ethan and maybe the colleagues you met. So in chat, one or 2 words how this went for you. We see Don sees it as enlightening. Yes, that's wonderful. Just 1 or 2 words that describes how'd this go for you. 90 minutes through a fire hose. Need to go. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Don. Lots to lock in. Fun, informative, thought-provoking, insightful. That's wonderful. Hey, everyone, we are about to transition into the Nova Scribes after party. I want to stop recording right now. Where is the stop recording?
Can I ask one quick question?